financial advisor and registered representative. He's been in the industry for over 25 years. And hopefully everyone knows of Sherod also through his radio show. Emily also is involved in leadership of MoneyWise, and she is the awesome and very capable project manager of this amazing project that's going on in downtown. And we're just really, it's a privilege to have him here. It's a privilege to have a company like MoneyWise making a big investment in downtown, and we're really excited to hear more about this project. So let's give him another round of applause.
Thank you. It's really good to be here. I'm Sherod Waite. This is Emily Waite. We are both born and raised here in Bakersfield. I'm a third generation Bakersfield person. Grew up in the Sunset area, the Oleander area. And both of us have raised our three boys who are now adults and grown, but they all were raised here, graduates of Liberty High School. Emily and I graduated from Bakersfield High School. I graduated from Bakersfield College and Cal State Bakersfield. And very proud to be here and to be part of this community and part of what's happening downtown. So we're going to talk about the Woolworth building. This is a building that we are in the process of an adaptive reuse of a historical building. There are a lot of people that have been involved in this project besides ourselves. And so we want to recognize some of these people. Some of them are here tonight. Our team that we have here, we're very proud. We couldn't do it without these people. Emily and I have never bought a building or a commercial building or done any sort of development, real estate development. This is the first home that we will have for our core business, which is MoneyWise. And it will be the first time that we'll be owning and not renting. So we're very excited about that. Part of our team is Sammy Abiyawi. He is our managing director. Yes, Sammy's wonderful. Huge part of this community. We're fortunate to have Sammy as part of our team. Originally, he was responsible for helping us get financing through Mission Bank, where he was the regional vice president, and then later has moved over and is now working at MoneyWise and has been an important part of our team in running MoneyWise, but also in helping us with Mission Bank and getting the financing, along with Scott Black, who was with Mission Bank at the time. And also key players down here at the bottom. Walls and Smith is our contractor. We really made it a point to use local businesses. So Josh Slayton is the lead there, but also Philip and Dan Aguilar are part of our team with Walls and Smith. Dan Cater Design Group, I think is the VIP of all of this team. Him and his co-worker, architect Bree, have been really instrumental in helping guide us who don't know what we're doing and what it takes to do something like this, and is really the leader of all of this and the design, which we'll show you here in a minute. And Richard, who will be running the lunch counter and operating the lunch counter, local chef, and we're very excited and proud to have him as part of our team as well. So we thank you. Yeah. We also, I want to recognize the people that are on this, on that last slide. The City of Bakersfield and the staff, all of the staff at the City of Bakersfield have been wonderful. We are also been working with the county, which has been very helpful to us. And then also want to give recognition to Shannon at Purveyor House and her team. They've helped us make this look pretty, including this presentation and all of those things. So lots of really wonderful local professionals. So let me give a little history about Woolworth. For those who don't know, Woolworth was the largest retailer in the world for almost 40 years. They had the tallest skyscraper for about 20 years in Midtown Manhattan. And it really was the Amazon of its day. It was revolutionary in redefining what the retail experience was. They literally created the five and dime experience, which is You have set pricing, and you can walk into the store and you know exactly what everything costs. It sounds pretty simple to us, but that was new for the time and revolutionary. So Woolworths played an enormous role in the shaping of America in our country. Next slide. So what we have here in Bakersfield is the last surviving operational luncheonette in the country. This is what we consider the crown jewel of this building. The luncheonette is a concept that Woolworths brought into the retail shopping experience, which was a new idea. You could come and shop, and then you could eat while you were there, and it's accessible food. And this is a picture of what some of you might remember it looking like not too long ago. The owners, we bought this building from the Sheffield family, who bought this building from the bankruptcy out of Woolworths when they were bankrupt in the late 90s. And they had it as an antique shop, and did a really good job of preserving the building and keeping the integrity of the historical elements of the building, which we are very grateful for. So this is a unique aspect to this building, the fact that it has an operational luncheonette with all of the original vintage working equipment, and the hood and the grill that is right by the bar, which we believe is unique and special. So something also very special that we are very interested in preserving is the connection to the civil rights movement that Woolworths Luncheonette had. Woolworths was essentially a chain across the country that had an instrumental role starting in 1960 by 4 students in North Carolina, 4 black students, teenagers, who were brave enough to sit at a segregated lunch counter in North Carolina. And it set the stage for a protest movement that had an incredible impact on the civil rights movement in the 1960s. And because we have this original working lunch counter here, we are committed to also preserving the connection to the impact that it had on civil rights. Including, we have been approached by several people across the country, including Cecil Brown, who you see here in the picture. Did we lose it? Of being on the National Register. Thank you. It's an arduous process to go through. It's a very rigorous standards that the National Parks requires of us to preserve certain elements of this building as we go through this registration process. And many of these elements that you can see up here on the screen are part of what we call art moderne or streamlined moderne. This is a unique architectural period in America that is the result of the Great Depression and coming out of the Art Deco era of our country, where it was more decorated and sort of ornamental type architecture, and moving into adopting some of the technologies that were developed in America at that time in the auto manufacturing and airline manufacturing, where they're using a lot of these streamlines and curves that you can see here in all of these examples. We have several buildings in Bakersfield that some of these, resemble these buildings. And of course, the Woolworths has these rounded corners. Here's other examples. This is actually inside the Woolworth building, and examples of some of these features that we will be preserving: the portholes, the doors, the curves, these windows, a lot of utilitarian metals like aluminum and chrome, stainless steel. We love the windows, which we will be preserving, and of course the transom sign, which was added in the 60s, but we will keep the Woolworth's Luncheonette sign, as well as the hollow clay tiles and many of these features that you see on here.
Many of you probably recognize the black and white and red iconic lunch counter color scheme and flooring. And what many people we've come to know don't know is that was not the original vibe. So we were lucky enough to be able to have the original blueprints in the building there for us. And we kept them, preserved them, and Daniel digitized them for us. And you can see here in this slide, lightly, vaguely, that it showed in the blueprints that the terrazzo flooring was there at one time. And the terrazzo was where the shoppers would walk, and then there were these concrete panels where the merchandise was set. And we, Sherod mentioned the Sheffields took very good care of this building before us, and they had put down this black and white flooring and the carpet in the antique store. So we did not know until we got in there and pulled up that flooring what we were going to find. But what we found was this beautifully preserved terrazzo flooring. And on the right image there, you can see the point where the terrazzo flooring meets the cement. And so even though that black and white iconic look has been there for a long time, we are making it a high priority to preserve the original terrazzo floors that are in there. They're just beautiful. Can't wait for you all to see them. So let's talk about what's coming. We would like to invite you to meet us at the Woolworths, not just the corner of 19th and K, but the corner of history and hope. Now, welcome to the reimagined Woolworth building. As you can see, the Woolworth building will still be the Woolworth building. It is not the MoneyWise building, it is the Woolworth building, now and forever, hopefully. And you can see all of the original components. The red and gold marquee will be staying. The historic storefront with its aluminum borders and aluminum entry doors. Thank you to the city of Bakersfield for helping us with a grant for that specific facade improvement. There's so many beautiful things about it. We like to think that we're just, cleaning her up and shining her up and bringing her back to, as much as we can, her original glory. Now, when we bought the building at the end of 2021, at the time, we were looking for a place to buy downtown for our business, and we knew we wanted to come downtown because we wanted to be a part of this urban revitalization of Bakersfield. It just so happened this building was going up for sale, and so we jumped at the chance to keep it local, keep it in the community. But we felt a great responsibility for what that meant for our community, and we wanted to be very intentional about how we approached the building as a whole, not just as housing for MoneyWise. And so as an owner team, we sat down in early 2022 and came up with our mission statement and our core values that we wanted to implement throughout the process. And that's what I'm going to share with you here, and it's worth a read. The Woolworths building is a community-based business dedicated to the adaptive reuse of a nationally historic downtown building. We strive to redevelop and lift the tide for the community of Bakersfield, creating a hub for community, creativity, and commerce. Now, we have had to make lots of decisions in the past 2.5 years as we've been working on this project. And we will continue to be making more decisions moving forward as we reopen, etc. And we are really intentional about all of the decisions about the building being filtered through this and our core values. We, as we've brought team members on, a way we like to describe it is that this building is our love letter to Bakersfield. And that is exactly how it feels to us. And these 3 C's we like to talk about as our core values are community, creativity, and commerce. Our focus is on the urban population and the creative professionals, while including with diversity and inclusivity into this building. We want this building to be a place for people to come to, a hub, so to speak, for people to come to and congregate and feel like it's a part of their own. So do you guys want to see what's inside? Okay, so in the basement, I'm so glad David Brust mentioned the music coming to downtown, because there is a thriving, talented music and creative community here in town, but they lack the amenities that are needed for that community to thrive. So one of the main components of our building is going to be a venue in the basement. And not only that, but a recording studio for our own radio show and podcast, as well as activating it for other musicians to record in there. And of course, the first floor is going to be the luncheonette. It's going to be the crown jewel of the building. It's definitely coming back. Tell your friends, it's not gone away. And then on the second floor will be the office spaces for MoneyWise. So I'm going to show you a few little expanded images of this. Here's the basement. A view as you come down the monumental staircase. We're going to be adding a bar, serving beer and wine in the venue. And you can even see here in the rendering the terrazzo floor as it meets the concrete floor, beautifully designed thoughtfully by Cater Design Group, as well as the concrete ceiling there. Here's another view of the venue. The venue is going to host about 100 people seated and about 300 people standing, depending on the event. Here you can see a lot of the preserved components of the building, the wood-wrapped pillars, as well as the trim and the ceiling there as well. And here's a view of our stage. We hope to activate this with music and creatives, theatrical performances, education. We want this to be a place that people think of when they want to come to Bakersfield and have a show. In addition to this venue space, there will be practice rooms in the basement for musicians. That's one of the things we lack here in town, is a place for bands to rehearse. And so we'll have some practice rooms down there in the basement as well. Up on the first floor, of course, the lunch counter, the highlight of the building. You can see again here a lot of those components that Sherod talked about before, the aluminum railings, the terrazzo flooring. And we're going to be expanding the seating in there to be able to seat 131 guests, and we will also be adding some additional seating on 19th Street outside. And of course, as Sherod mentioned, this is the last functioning lunch counter in the country. What that means is that it works. We have a lot of the original equipment, and almost all of it, if not all of it, is functioning. And we will be allowing Richard, our chef, to get those burgers and those shakes back out to you as soon as we can. We're also adding another bar on the first floor opposite the lunch counter, in which we'll be serving beer and wine as well. So again, hopefully a fun place for everyone to come and congregate. And now on K Street entrance, as you see on the left here, this is going to be our small lobby for our MoneyWise clientele. We're going to have our own little entrance on K Street over there for our clients. And on the right-hand side, you can see this is the common area, or the break room. This was the original break room of the Woolworth's employees. And we're going to reimagine it for our own employees there. As you can see, the beautiful curved wall and windows. Now, I don't know how many of you ever were able to go up on the second floor of the Woolworth building, but there's this beautiful hollow clay tile. There's a red hollow clay tile and a yellow one. And this hollow clay tile survived the '52 earthquake. It's one of the few buildings that did, and the tile remained And so it took a lot of time and effort and thought to preserve that in a way in which it would keep it safe and structurally sound, and also highlight the tile in our offices. So you can see that there showing up in the hallway, as well as some of those private offices there. Here's some more examples of that. You can see on the left, this is the preserved yellow hollow clay tile. I'm hoping for this office myself. I've got to ask my boss and see if he lets me have it. And then on the right there, you can see that will be the entrance from the elevator to the Moneywise lobby, again with examples of that hollow clay tile and the concrete ceiling. Now, this has definitely been a team effort. You're seeing up on the screen here some behind the scenes photos, and I want to express to you the wonderful and amazing and also challenge it's been to keep this building preserved while also bringing it up to the modern age. So not only are we preserving these terrazzo floors and these aluminum railings and this beautiful hollow clay tile, but we're also having to bring everything up to code and make sure everything works and the modern amenities and functions happen. And that takes a whole lot of people and a whole lot of smart people who know what they're doing. And everyone who's worked on this project has been very thoughtful about how we are approaching this, because it's different. Being approached a construction project like this is something that we're having to, it's a new thing for people, and we're having to explain how this is different. We can't do it the normal way, we have to do it a different way. And so it takes a lot of people, and we're so grateful for all of those people in the project who've come along with us for the ride.
So I want to talk about the impact, economic impact, and some of the speakers that have spoke tonight and then earlier today have done a really good job of emphasizing the importance of bringing activity downtown. There are so many things that are happening, as you've heard. What gave us courage as a company to move downtown and decide to relocate? Right now we're across the street from Cal State Bakersfield on Stockdale Highway, which is our current offices. And one of the things that gave us confidence to move downtown were people who like us, have taken risks with their own personal funds and put their necks out and have been successful at it. We've been inspired by Smitten, first of all, downtown. I think it really spurred a lot of interest and brought attention to people that, oh, you can do something like this. What the Smiths are doing at Sage Equities has been a huge inspiration for us. The fact that you can have market rate housing downtown really gave us a lot of confidence that we can also have sort of a project like this that can be successful. 19th Street, which is where this is, right? Niles 19th Street. You go all the way down 19th Street, you're gonna go by Roosters, you're gonna go by all of these wonderful things that are happening. Johnny's, all of these, Radio Sandwich, all of these things that are happening down here on 19th Street, and the things that Tomas and Brandon are doing are just so inspiring. It's, we hope that the whole, I think people here get it. We're all excited and optimistic and positive. Our hope is that this will spread and continue. And the demographics and the numbers are on our side here in Bakersfield to have increased traffic and attendance downtown. We are looking forward to this vision of creating sustainable business and something that can serve the creative class and present a model for the future. There's so many great images here on this slide. We can't wait to have shirts and hats and buttons and things like that to promote not just the Woolworths, but promote downtown Bakersfield to the world. Before we had to close down the lunch counter to do the renovation, there were people coming from all over the world. There were travel blogs talking about the last Woolworth's luncheonette, and this was a stop for a lot of these people traveling up and down the state. We're excited to bring that back, and as David said, we need tourism here. We want this to be a tourist attraction, something that we bring our friends and family to when they're visiting from out of town, something that we can point them to, that they can enjoy if they're visiting. This is where tradition meets innovation, at the corner of 19th and K. JFK has a great quote. He says, the best way to preserve a historic site is to make it a living part of the community. And that is our goal here, is to make the Woolworths a living part of our community, somewhere, something that we can all be proud of. As Emily said, this is our love letter to our city that we were both born and raised in, and we plan on being buried in. We plan on living here the rest of our lives, and our hope is to make our home a better place for us, for our kids who don't live here in town, but maybe like us might think that Bakersfield is cool enough to return to live back someday when they're older, if they decide to start a family. So, like many of the speakers here, we are driven by that idea of improving our home and making something that we already know is special here in Bakersfield really special for the outside world. So that's it. Thank you so much.